Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasme Shri Guruve Nama. Guru is Brahma, the force of creation. Guru is Vishnu, the force of preservation. Guru is Maheshwara, the force of destruction and transformation. Guru is the embodiment of pure Brahma, the ultimate Godhead. We bow down to that Guru. Each word of this quote actually hammer the importance of teachers in every era. With this, I, Dr. Vichakha, Assistant Professor in the Department of Physiology, welcome you all to this Teachers' Day celebration, which we all know is celebrated every year in the remembrance of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, who was second President of India. And this is the very first time we have gathered for this to be celebrated in UCMS and GTBH hospital. This event also marks the beginning of two new initiatives. One, the Professor A.S Paintal Oration, and secondly, the felicitation of teachers with the Lifetime Achievement Award for their contribution to our institute. Warm welcome to our very own principal, Professor Dr. Piyush Gupta. Sir, I would request you to grace the dais with your presence. Please give a round of applause. It is my honor to invite our chief guest, Professor S.K. Sarin, President, National Academy of Medical Sciences and Vice Chancellor, Institute of Liver and Biliary Sciences, New Delhi, to the dais. With equal pleasure, I invite Professor Subhash Giri, Medical Director, GTBH Hospital, to the dais, please.
Namaskar to all of
you. Now, I would request Professor Piyush Gupta to welcome Professor S.K. Sarin by presenting our potted plant. Thank you, sir. I would once again request Professor Piyush Gupta to welcome Professor Subhash Giri by presenting a potted plant. I request Professor Subhash Giri to welcome Professor Piyush Gupta by presenting a potted plant, please. Now, I would like to invite Professor Piyush Gupta to please come to the podium for further address and do the honors of reading the citation for Professor Dr. A.S Paintal Oration.
इस संस्थान के द्वारा राष्ट्र के नवनिर्माण में महनीय योगदान देने वाले आप सभी शिक्षकों को मेरा शत शत नमन. थैंक यू एंड वेलकम टू यू ऑल. आज के दिन में मैं चीफ गेस्ट या एमडी सर इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं हैं. हम एक शिक्षक की तरह, हर एक शिक्षक इम्पोर्टेंट है. और बहुत अच्छा लगा कि आप सब लोग पहली बार जो ये यूसीएमएस में हम शिक्षक दिवस मना रहे हैं, आप सब आए और अपना सहयोग इसके अंदर दिया. और एक जो नई शुरुआत हमने की है, हमारे यूसीएमएस के प्रथम प्रिंसिपल प्रोफेसर ए.एस पेंटल के सम्मान में एक ओरेशन करने की वो हमने एक शुरुआत की. सबसे पहले उनके बारे में मैं अभी बताऊंगा. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई लाइक टू वेलकम एंड थैंक from the core of my heart Professor Dr. S.K. Sarin sir. You all know about him. I don't need to tell about his biodata, which runs into several pages. Even then I have noted a small bit of it, which I'll read out just before when he starts his oration. Thank you sir once again for accepting our invitation humbly. I also welcome Professor Subhash Giri, our own medical director, GTB Hospital. So, because he is also the host, so I thank you so much, sir, for being a co-host with me and gracing the occasion. I also welcome all the administrative staff. I also welcome the 5 Lifetime Achievement Awardees whom we will be awarding this year, and thank you all of them for accepting our invitation and gracing the occasion to accept the award on behalf of UCMS. We have Professor Mahinder Kumar, we have Professor Vivek Agrawal, Professor Vinod Arora, Professor S.P. Sharma ma'am, and Professor Rajneesh Avasthi. Let's give a big hand to them. They all have given their lifetime to UCMS. And sir and madam, it's just a small gesture from our side. Nobody can compensate what you have done for this institution. So it's just a small gesture that this is a token of love and appreciation for all of you, and we hope that we'll be getting your guidance. Teachers Day, you all know about, Vishaka has just told कि Dr. Radhakrishnan का जन्म दिवस था, तो उनका जन्म दिवस मनाने एक बार उनके पास बहुत सारे उनके छात्र पहुंचे और उन्होंने कहा कि सर हमें आपका जन्मदिन मनाना है। तो उन्होंने कहा मेरा जन्मदिन ऐसे मत मनाओ, इस दिन को आप सब शिक्षकों को समर्पित करो और उसको टीचर्स डे का नाम दो, तब मैं अपना जन्मदिन मनाऊंगा। तो आई थिंक इट्स अ ग्रेट वर्डिंग एंड वी आर फॉलोइंग दैट ट्रेडिशन. And let me tell you that I have another connection with with a Vice President and President Dr. Radhakrishnan. He was the Vice Chancellor, second Vice Chancellor after Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya of Banaras Hindu University, where I did my all education, MBBS and MD from. So we used to revere him as a past Vice Chancellor of Banaras Hindu University also. I'll just finish because we are all waiting eagerly to listen to Professor Sarin. Guru Kumar, Sikh Kumbh hai. Guru Kumar means the teacher is a Kumar, है ना, आप हिंदी में समझते हैं. सिख कुंभ है मतलब जो डिसाइपल है, जो शिष्य है, वो अनगढ़ा बर्तन है या पॉट है. गुरु कुमार सिख कुंभ है, गढ़ गढ़ काढ़े खोट. काढ़े मतलब निकालना, गढ़ गढ़ कर उसमें से गलतियां निकालता है. It gives shape and cures the faults and flaws of the students with care. अंतर हाथ सहर दे. आपने देखा होगा ना जब पॉट बनता है, ये दोहा है कबीर का, अंतर हाथ सहर दे. तो कुम्हार के हाथ एक बाहर होता है, बाहर से वो मारता जाता है और अंदर से सहलाता जाता है, इस तरह से वो बनता है. सो ये गुरु का यही है कि अंदर से उसको सहलाता जाता है, बाहर से पीट पीट के उस शेप में लाता जाता है. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच for this coming here and gracing the occasion. Thank you very much. Thank you, Vishaka. I welcome you one and all for coming to this occasion. Picture abhi khatam nahi hui. I'll read the citation in honor of Professor Dr. Avatar Singh Paintal. Late Dr. Avatar Singh Paintal was a human physiologist, best known for his breakthrough studies and discoveries that added a new dimension to the medical sciences. He was among the toppers from his MBBS batch at KGMC Lucknow, and everybody expected him to opt for a clinical specialty. But he loved science and research much more than clinical medicine, and against popular advice, against the advice of even parents, he ultimately decided to pursue his MD in physiology. And what a great decision it was. During his MD thesis, those were the initial days, during his MD thesis, he created new electronic instruments to study the electrical resistance of the skin and developed a scoring system to identify psychotic patients. The system later came to be known as the Paintal Index and was widely used by the psychiatrists. He was awarded Rockefeller Fellowship, joined a PhD program in electrophysiology at Edinburgh, and once again he built his own electronic equipment and also devised a dissection technique to study the deep nerve fibers that supply lungs and hearts. Dr. Paintal ultimately succeeded at building a new method for identification of receptors. Using this method, he discovered the J receptors in the lung, atrial B receptors and ventricular pressure receptors in the heart, gastric stretch receptors in the stomach, mucosal mechanoreceptors in the intestine, and pressure pain receptors in the muscles. These discoveries and his various other studies about other nerve fibers and receptors earned him an unparalleled reputation as a scientist across the globe, and even beyond the confines of physiology and the medical community. He was recognized as a distinguished scientist and was elected as the president of Indian National Science Academy and Indian Science Congress Association. He also founded the Society of Scientific Values, which was a very unique venture, I must say. This was a body aimed at promoting ethics and integrity in science, among the first of its kind in the world. He held high administrative and leadership positions during his journey. Some of those were the director of Vallabhbhai Patel Chest Institute, New Delhi, and the principal of University College of Medical Sciences. And he also was the Director General of Indian Council of Medical Research. He holds the distinction of holding the Padma Vibhushan Award. Besides Padma Vibhushan, he was bestowed with multiple international and national awards, fellowships, and honorary degrees. Finally, we end with his most famous quote, "Perfection must be encouraged and rewarded." In his name, we start this oration on the occasion of Teachers' Day, and it is befitting to this honor that we present Professor S.K. Sarin as the first awardee of this prestigious oration. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I am really indebted to the teachers who has made me to stand here. And I can know your contribution the same way. I'm really happy and feeling blessed that Dr. Sarin is with us. He is such an international repute person in the field of hepatology. Probably nobody in the world who is not knowing him. His work in India and setting up an institute to that extent is unremarkable. I am really thankful to him that he has accepted our invitation and he will be speaking, and I will not take much of the time. I will take 1 minute only. You all are basically the second mother of the child. Mother teaches a child. Teacher braces his whole life. The teacher gets the raw student. He makes his life. Here we all are contributing towards his education, towards his scientific acumen, towards his skill, even towards the attitude, towards the patient. But still, I'll request all of you that let we more focus the way we are going away from the sensitivity, from the sympathetic attitude, so that we could inculcate those values in a student, that his attitude should be sympathetic to the patient. Secondly, we all live for ourselves. We definitely ask the younger generation that they should be more devoted to the nation. Nation should be the first, if not the topmost priority. It should be the first priority in the life. So I'll request all of you that these two values, in addition to you are doing great works, you all are well learned, you all are scientists, researchers. I'll just request you people that our younger generation, if we can change a bit of the attitude in that, probably our country will become far better and our institute will also grow further and further. Thank you very much. I request Dr. Sarin, please come over and give his valuable words so that we could learn a bit from him. Thank you very much, sir.
सर का इंट्रोडक्शन इतना बड़ा था, जब मैंने बनाया पहली बार तो 4 पेज में हो गया. सो देन छोटा किया, 2 पेज हो गया, 2 से 1 या अब 1 से छोटा तो हो नहीं सकता. So, thank you, sir, for gracing the occasion. I'll just read a brief citation for sir. So, I'm sorry if I miss any particular achievement, sir, because there are so many, as I said, I can't put them all in words. Professor Dr. S.K. Sarin, Senior Professor, President, National Academy of Medical Sciences, and Vice Chancellor, Institute of Liver and Biliary Sciences, is a clinician, gastroenterologist, hepatologist, a pioneer in clinical innovation, a gifted teacher and a great leader, planner, educationist, medical entrepreneur, and an ambassador of enthusiastic learning. Under his leadership, the Institute of Liver and Biliary Sciences, the first of its kind in Asia, has been conferred the status of a deemed to be university by the Government of India and University Grants Commission. His main mission is to develop ILBS as the best possible institution of its kind in the world. He has more than 350 international publications to his credit, including the NEJM, Lancet, Annals of Internal Medicine, Gastroenterology and Hepatology. He has edited 11 books on liver diseases, and which are standard reference books, and contributed more than 70 chapters in various textbooks. Professor Sarin is the founding chief editor of a prestigious journal, Hepatology International, and he has served editorial assignment in most prestigious journals in the specialized fields. For his outstanding contributions in the field of basic sciences, he has been appointed as an adjunct professor at the Special Center for Molecular Medicine at JNU and Jawaharlal Nehru Center for Advanced Research, Bengaluru. Professor Sarin was nominated to lead the Medical Council of India as the chairman of Board of Governors, and he developed with other Board of Governors the Vision 2015 document of medical education in India, which was like a Bible for all of us when we were doing our medical education teaching faculty. Professor Sarin is known for far-reaching reforms in medical education and health sciences, and is now leading the National Academy of Medical Sciences as its president. And I was telling sir, for the first time any president of National Academy of Medical Sciences has reached the entire medical fraternity in the country, including all the principals and all the faculty, and encourage them to be a part of National Academy of Medical Sciences. Sir has doubled the seats for fellowships, which were only one per subject. Now they are two per subject. So, and he also urged that our faculty should apply for membership, the younger faculty, and the means the senior faculty for fellowship, and that will be duly considered. Sir is a member of External Advisory Board of Clinical Research Center at Severance Hospital, Yonsei University, Seoul, Korea, Joint Steering Committee of Indo-German Science Center for Infectious Disease, World Digestive Health Day Steering Committee, External Advisory Board of Institute of...
This list is long and long.
अच्छा ये छोड़ देता हूँ सर, खत्म तो करने दीजिए. He has been bestowed with the Padma Bhushan by the Government of India, और बाकी बहुत सारे अवार्ड हैं. अब सर ने कहा मत पढ़ो. There are almost 100, और उसमें से मैंने 10 नोट किए थे, अब मैं 10 भी नहीं पढ़ रहा. So last para, he is one of the most sought teachers, invited speaker nationally and internationally, and has been awarded the Gifted Teacher Award. His humility and touch with common man, integrity, far-reaching contribution to the health and well-being of his patients have indeed left an indelible impact on the well-being of millions of people in the country. We are honored to award him the first Professor A.S Paintal Oration on the occasion of Teachers' Day of UCMS. Thank you. So you will introduce the topic, because Sir is speaking on a topic. When he sent me the name of the topic, I did not understand it. I tried to find the meaning in the dictionary, even then I could not find. So I'll leave it to sir to explain the title and further deliberate on this topic. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Piyush, Dr. Giri, and the faculty. I came here many years ago as a father because my son studied here, Shashwat. And I think this is one of the best gifts a college can give to a parent. So thank you all for educating and making my son into a hopefully good doctor. I'm also indeed honored that you called me for this oration, When I looked into the biodata of Dr. A.S. Paintal, whom I had personally met couple of times, it is so humbling to speak anything for a man who was principal of your college. It's indeed salutations to the man and to the college and to all the teachers and all the students. My salutations. I got this topic partly as you will go through the journey. It's a term which I coined few years ago, and I want to experiment with your mind on this term. I bring greetings from ILBS, all its students and its staff. This is a tribute to a teacher. And as Dr. Paintal always spoke on ethics in science and work, and his science left more questions than answers, which is the best part of a scientist, I thought I will use this new term, ethicalism, because it will leave many more questions than answers. All of us face ethical issues every day, what is right and what is wrong. I use this because there are two pencils here. One is the shadow, one is the original. And I want to share an experience of my early life. My grandfather was a teacher, mathematics teacher in a school. He used to have two fountain pens with separate ink pots. वो आता था ड्रॉपर वाली से करो तो ड्रॉपर से उसमें स्याही आती थी. एक पेन स्कूल के लिए, एक पेन घर के लिए. मैंने पूछा, दादाजी आप ये दो क्यों रखते हैं? मुझे ले भी आते थे स्याही भरवाने के लिए कि स्कूल का काम इस पेन से, वो स्याही वहाँ से है, ये मैं अपने उससे लेता हूँ, तो इससे मैं घर की चिट्ठी, मेरे फादर को चिट्ठी उससे लिखता हूँ. It was a huge impression on a young child. Ethics is your own determination. I'm not teaching you anything, I'm sharing part of me. लिवर ट्रांसप्लांट, बहुत साल पहले एक लेडी आई, उसके फादर इन लॉ ने कहा भाई तेरे को लिवर देना है. 32 साल का उसका हस्बैंड था, बड़े अमीर ख़ानदान का था. लड़की यंग थी, छोटा बच्चा था, बेचारी मान गई किसी तरह ऑर्गन डोनेशन के लिए. जब टेबल पे लेटी, सुबह 6 बजे वो उठ के भाग गई कि मैं तो नहीं दूंगी अपना लिवर. उसको इसलिए कोर्स किया जा रहा था कि तेरे को अगर नहीं देगी लिवर तो ज़मीन जायदाद नहीं मिलेगी. एंड वी वर ऑल पार्टी, वी हैड असेस्ड बाय 3 साइकियाट्रिस्ट कि ये फिट है, इसने हाँ मन से करी. बट वी फेल्ड टू अंडरस्टैंड, वी फेल्ड टू fathom the fear and not liking to donate an organ. And this occurs every day. And we challenge ourselves every day. So liver transplant in a person who has been drinking alcohol is an ethical issue for we people. Now the problem is not small. हम लोगों ने मना कर दिया, दूसरे हॉस्पिटल में गया, हाँ हम कर देंगे. That is a bigger problem. And this will happen to you every day. This patient is not to be transferred or to be transferred. Should I transfer this patient? मैं अच्छा डॉक्टर हूँ, आपसे ओपिनियन लेने आया, आपने कहा नहीं वहाँ कुछ नहीं होता, तो हमारे यहाँ ले आ, मैं देखूँगा उसको. The moment the मैं comes, the moment that I am better than the other physician, your ethics has gone. In my mind, I would not transfer a patient. I would only tell the relatives, if you think you will get benefit by coming here, you decide. I am not deciding. Do you think it is acceptable to you? Can we accept all this? Yes or no? This is one part of Bethicalism, and I will come to it slowly and slowly, because these are ethical dilemmas we never discuss, शेयर ही नहीं करते हैं. पेशेंट का प्रोसीजर किया और परफोरेशन हो गया, या गलत मेडिसिन दे दी, या उसको रिएक्शन, हम लिखते ही नहीं है उसमें. रेजिडेंट से और कहते हैं यार तू ये लिखना मत, यार लिख देंगे रेजिडेंट ने किया था मैंने तो नहीं किया था, या ये कह देंगे सर हमें तो पता ही नहीं था ये साइड इफेक्ट. So one of the dilemmas is, should I write all complications which developed while I treated your patient? Be honest to God and write. So be it, I am a human being, I make a mistake and I accept my mistake. The ability to accept mistake is the first lesson in ethics. Ethics is not just being on the ethical board, the ability. Every morning when we meet, we have a meeting at 8:30 of senior critical patients and we all accept, यार ये गड़बड़ कर दी मैंने, इसका ब्लेम तो मेरा ही है, मैंने कहा था डायलिसिस नहीं करो पर आज एसिडोटिक हो गया. Do you accept this as the correct thing? Can we all share this thought? We will mention all complications, whatever it be. The other guy will know कि यार we are honest, and then there is a decision somebody else will give. I'm just sharing my thoughts with you. Now, another way of looking at the thing. Should I disclose I am a hepatitis B positive? Many doctors, nurses, technicians can be positive. General positivity is 2% or so. तो 100 में से 2 पॉजिटिव हो सकते, पर हम बताते नहीं हैं पेशेंट को कि यार मैं पॉजिटिव हूँ या नेगेटिव, which is not ethically correct. Why? Because whatever I do, unless I am DNA negative, I should be disclosing. There is no rule in this, but in my opinion, there is a need for us. I have friends in US, वो वहाँ से यहाँ ट्रीटमेंट के लिए आते हैं, चुपचाप ट्रीट कराते हैं, वहाँ डिस्क्लोज नहीं करते. Do you think it is the right approach or wrong? We should declare. But we also have to have empathy. Empathy means अगर आज अमिताभ बच्चन को लंदन में रॉयल्स कॉलेज या किसी में सर्जरी की पोजीशन मिल जाए तो क्या उसे काम करने देंगे? नहीं. Your hepatitis B positive, so you can't work there. So I have been fighting for this for ages. I hope the law comes in the country that give them same status as you have. They haven't done anything wrong. They got it from their mother, father or through blood. उस बेचारे की क्या गलती है? You agree with this? If you say agree, yes, we'll keep on moving. These are all, each one is a cycle, is a clinical scenario on which I am talking. For this we started a campaign called Empowering People Against Hepatitis. You empower the person, not the government. Empower the person to give him a voice. And I want you all to pledge, if you can with me, that you will join this initiative of treating a person who is hepatitis B as the same status as you are. If you all agree, can take a pledge. Yes. Thank you all. You can't choose your mother, can you? अब तो पैदा हो गए. Can you say कि यार इस घर में नहीं आना था, यहाँ डायबिटीज़ है, इस घर में नहीं आना था, यहाँ ब्लड प्रेशर है, इस घर में नहीं आना था कि हेपेटाइटिस बी है. 90% हेपेटाइटिस बी इज़ मदर बेबी, नॉट ऑक्यूपेशनल. वो बेचारा 6 साल का बच्चा क्या करेगा? सो आवर एथिक्स इज टू गिव हिम दैट राइट. डू नॉट इग्नोर और मिसट्रस्ट. Now we come to our profession more. As a doctor, we have to learn to look differently for our patients, for our society, for our country and for life. You know, ऊपर से नीचे हम हमेशा देखते हैं differently. I'm just trying to share my experience. As a doctor, as a student, we have aspirations. हम ये बन जाएं, हम ये कर लें, पर कभी हम जिम्मेदारी नहीं सोचते कि यार ये बनेंगे तो ये जिम्मेदारी है, ये एस्पिरेशन है। लेट्स कम टू फर्स्ट पार्ट, एक्सेप्ट आवर मिस्टेक्स, एंड सेकेंड पार्ट, डोंट स्टील अदर्स क्रेडिट। काम स्टूडेंट ने किया, फर्स्ट ऑथर कोई और होता है। काम क्रेडिट स्टूडेंट का है, पर प्रमोशन किसका होता है? मतलब वो प्रोफेसर भी क्या करे बेचारा, क्योंकि अगर उसके पेपर नहीं होंगे तो प्रमोशन नहीं होगा। वो MCI NMC ने रूल बना दिया कि इतने पब्लिकेशन होंगे तो प्रमोशन होगा, पर प्रमोशन कैसे होगा? पेपर नहीं होंगे, पेपर में भी फर्स्ट ऑथर होगा। ये फर्स्ट ऑथर कैसे होगा? काम तो स्टूडेंट का है। इस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए फर्स्ट ऑथर को सेकंड थर्ड ऑथर किया गया। बट एज ए स्टूडेंट, एज ए टीचर, वी हैव ए रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दैट डू नॉट स्टील अदर्स क्रेडिट। काम उसका किया है, नाम अपना लिखा है, कभी नहीं होना चाहिए। यू एग्री विद दिस? यू ऑल एग्री विद दिस? So let's see what are the realities. Science tries to tell us how the world is constructed, and ethics tells us how the world ought to be constructed. हर चीज़ हम कहते हैं नेचर का है, ये तो रूल है नेचर का, पर नेचर doesn't tell us everything. Ethics tells you how nature can be constructed for us. अच्छा, रिसर्च में उसका कैरियर गोल है। अब मधु है यहाँ पे, इतना आउटस्टैंडिंग वर्क किया, पूरा डिपार्टमेंट बन गया, कितना सिंपल आदमी, कितना काम किया। उनका रिसर्च गोल खाली, या औरों का भी खाली ये नहीं है कि मैं रिसर्च करूँ। पीयूष को मैं थोड़े दिन से जानने लगा, इनका रिसर्च गोल बहुत डिफरेंट है। इनका रिसर्च गोल है हाउ वी कैन इन्वॉल्व स्टूडेंट्स, हाउ वी कैन इन्वॉल्व पीपल फॉर ए कलेक्टिव ग्रोथ। एन एक्सट्रीमली कम्युनिकेटिव पर्सन। बट आवर रिसर्च गोल should not be with just our own identity. Our career goal should be different. And in research, the last line which I put in bold, the only line in bold is, when you start a study, do not think कि ये result होना चाहिए। 50% failure, 50% success. हमने प्लाज्मा थेरेपी शुरू करी कोविड में। Very carefully conducted first trial, I am telling you the reality, was for 20 patients. बड़े outstanding results थे जब when we were conducting this at LNJP. एक ethics committee थी national, उनका single agenda ये था कि किसी तरह से और major institute से LNJP ILBS आगे ना निकले। हमने कहा 20 से हम 40 पेशेंट की परमिशन दे दीजिए, रिजल्ट्स अच्छे हैं इनिशियल। वी वर द फर्स्ट इन द वर्ल्ड, कोई परमिशन नहीं, ये उस पर ऑब्जेक्शन, ये स्टडी हैड टू बी समवॉट एब्रोगेटेड। वी डिड ए लार्जर स्टडी, मच बेटर, बट वी गॉट द फर्स्ट स्टडी वेयर सिंपल प्लाज्मा was compared with COVID plasma. These studies were much ahead of time. But we faced so many challenges despite my being in this for a long time. You will all face challenges when you start a new thing. You will all be criticized for doing this and that. But if you are clear, nothing can move. It's only science and the truth will come. And if you fail, remember, even Jesus fell down. We are nowhere close, but okay, we failed, we tried, we failed. For me, it's an important, there is no right way to do a wrong thing. Teachers have to lead by example and internal vigilance and do no harm are the mainstay for any trial. If you find that the patient is doing bad, stop it. Nobody else has to tell you. Don't steal, don't change the data, which is sacrosanct. And of course, one more thing is observation. Relook, relook, and relook. And I'm telling you this for a very simple and personal reason. And not to say that I'm something different. I was working as a Fulbright at Yale. Those days, the hemodynamics of liver was only known in rats. रैट्स में कितना ब्लड फ्लो है, हर ऑर्गन से कितना आता है, दैट वाज नोन, बट नॉट इन माउस. सो व्हेन आई वेंट देयर आई वांटेड टू वर्क ऑन शिस्टोसोमियासिस. वो रैट में नहीं होता, ओनली हैपन्स इन माउस. वो माउस बॉस्टन से आते थे, फ्लाइट से, हेलीकॉप्टर से माउस आते थे, बट नोबडी न्यू हाउ टू डू हीमोडायनेमिक्स. आई वॉज आस्क्ड बाय माई मेंटर रॉबर्टो ग्रॉसमैन टू डू हीमोडायनेमिक. अच्छा, मैंने तो कभी काम ही नहीं किया था. आई यूज्ड टू वर्क ऑन रैबिट्स बट नॉट ऑन माउस. फर्स्ट टाइम स्टार्टेड वर्किंग ऑन माउस. उसका एक 20 ग्राम का एनिमल होता है. यहाँ से कैथेटर डालो राइट एट्रियम में, यहाँ से फेमोरल से डालो वो नीचे. सो दिस गाय हु वाज ऑन द कमिटी टू नॉमिनेट पीपल फॉर नोबेल प्राइज यूज्ड टू स्टैंड बिहाइंड द डोर एंड पीप इनसाइड. वो देखता था ये लड़का क्या कर रहा है. अच्छा, हर एनिमल का ऑटोप्सी करके चेक किया जाता था कि यार कैथेटर कहाँ है, उसका माइक्रोस्फीयर कहाँ गया. अच्छा, उसे पॉलीग्राफ फिजियोलॉजी में, यू माइट नो पॉलीग्राफ, उस ज़माने में 7 लीड का पॉलीग्राफ, 9 लीड का, बड़ी महंगी मशीन होती थी. जैसे ECG है उसमें 7 ट्रेसिंग, टेम्परेचर, रेस्पिरेशन, सब आता. पॉलीग्राफ की ट्रेसिंग इतनी मोटी होती थी जैसे ECG की ट्रेसिंग आता. हर ट्रेसिंग वो रॉबर्टो के कमरे में जाती थी, हर एक पे साइन करता था. In 3 months, I was able to do close to 350, 360 animals. I was very happy. I said, "Yaar, paper is ready for JCI." JCI was above any JM those days. After having done all that, Roberto says, "Repeat everything." यार, $8 का चूहा आता है, मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है इतनी फेलोशिप. बोले रिपीट एवरीथिंग. And I was made to repeat another 200 animals, which I could finish in 2 months' time. And then he said one thing which I want to share: science must be reproduced. And relook, relook, relook. And what is relook? You are your worst enemy. Relook first the world, second your peers, and third is you. So relook, relook, and relook. And these 3 words I want to share with you to internalize that your good software and your good hardware will develop when you accept you are the first, the last peer reviewer of your work. If you say कि यार ये ठीक है, कोई दिला कह ही नहीं सकता, वो तो ठीक ही होगा, मैंने कह दिया भाई. मैंने अपने आप को उस प्रोसेस के थ्रू पीयर रिव्यू किया, which cannot be peer. So your self criticism, and that is how, and that paper became a landmark paper because after that all beta blocker therapy came in liver diseases. But what I learned from that is that even the best of the best guys would like this method to be learned to every student. So I am sharing with you because I may not be able to share these. You can share, you can improve upon this. Now the problem comes, I want you to read it. When teacher is wrong and a student is right, what should the student do? बेचारा तो बोल ही नहीं सकता यार, बाहर निकल जा, तेरे को कुछ नहीं आता है. मेरे साथ हुआ है. मेरा एक स्टूडेंट था सतपति, अभी इज़ ए बिग गाय इन यूएस, 2001 में आया कि सर अपन पेंटॉक्सीफाइलिन जो है अल्कोहलिक लिवर डिजीज़ में यूज़ करते हैं, अपन नैश में क्यों नहीं यूज़ करें, फैटी लिवर में। नहीं खैर क्या ट्रैश बोल रहा है, तो ये हो ही नहीं सकता। 5 minutes later when I got into my mind to see कि यार ये तो पूरा पैथोफिजियोलॉजी मेरे से आगे ले जा रहा है, I said Sanjay, let us start doing this trial. But it took me 5 minutes to accept my mistake. I'm not saying I'm different, but I realized this guy has thought beyond me. बट वो बेचारा स्टूडेंट क्या करता, वो तो चुपचाप चला गया इंडियन कॉफ़ी हाउस, वहाँ जाके कॉफ़ी पी रहा था, वहाँ जीबी पंत के नीचे कॉफ़ी हाउस में बैठा हुआ था। मैंने ढूंढा, संजय कहाँ गया, बोले सर वो कॉफ़ी हाउस है। मैं भागा ऊपर से पंत में नीचे गया, मैंने ढूंढा उस, मैंने कहा तू ठीक है यार, लेट अस हैव ए डोसा, एंड देन he started, and that became a landmark trial. But I realized what a student will do. So my humble request is allow him to say freely, and it was my mistake which I accept publicly, that I mistreated my student almost 21 years ago. But after that, slowly I have improved. नेक्स्ट थिंग इज, वो स्टूडेंट आता है 3 साल 2 साल के लिए, हम उसको सब कुछ नहीं सिखाते, कुछ रख लेते हैं अपने पास, कहते हैं यार इसको अभी नहीं बताएंगे, इसको थोड़े दिन बाद बताएंगे। आई शुड बी सुपीरियर टू माई स्टूडेंट। डू यू टीच ऑल द ट्रिक्स टू योर स्टूडेंट्स? जो सब सिखाते हैं वो हाथ ऊंचा करें ऑनेस्टली, जो नहीं सिखाते हैं वो ना उठाएं। एटलीस्ट देर आर फ्यू। Yes, I try to teach them, but I want you to read this. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. 2 and 2 is not 4. Aristotle said, the whole is greater than the sum of its part. So if a student comes and there are 5 faculty members, he should be more than collective 5 teachers. सारे 5 जितने 5 लोग हैं उन्होंने जितना भी सीखा ज़िंदगी में, आपका स्टूडेंट उन सब से ज़्यादा होने, not only one. So the whole is bigger than the sum of its parts. Do you agree with this? So all departments in the UCMS can be unique if the whole is bigger than the sum of its parts. Thank you. This is something on medical education Dr. Piyush mentioned, and this was the effort which we did with 329 then medical colleges to prepare a vision for 2015. This was in 2010. Now the problem has come. I am reanalyzing what we, including me, did. We were part of this NEET and the next. 2011 में नीट शुरू हो जाना चाहिए था, शुरू हुआ बहुत लेट। अब नीट में ये है कि स्टूडेंट्स परसेंटाइल की जगह परसेंटेज 10% पे भी एंटर हो रहे हैं, और नेक्स्ट शुरू ही नहीं होने वाला। The exit exam, which is the basic quality measure, is not letting. And our simple message was, if you cannot measure, you cannot manage. वो next आने का चांस ही नहीं लग रहा है। Do you all think that there should be an exit exam, national exit exam, or no? Yes. इंडियन मेडिकल ग्रेजुएट शुड नॉट बी आइडेंटिफाइड कि वो UCMS में लकी था तो आ गया, या कहीं और किसी मेडिकल कॉलेज में पढ़ रहा है। ही इज़ एन IMG, ही इज़ सर्टिफाइड लाइक ए चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट। Everyone who has passed is a medical graduate from India. Next. Sorry, it's in my head. Now there are few issues of choices in life. You can remain a mummy all your life, or you can take the responsibility for changing them. I had opportunities of changing some of these. I took the fight. And I want each one of you never to lose an opportunity when you can make a change. Be the change, be the part. Don't accept to be a mummy. Excellence is like a fluid. You put it in any container. आप उसमें डालिए, it will take the shape. And as on Teachers' Day, our job is to create excellence. ये किसी ने मेरे को बना के दिया. Shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you will land amongst the stars. 75 years of independence, we can fly our kites because success is never ending and failure is never fatal. So let us all shoot for the stars and maybe shoot for the moon, maybe we will stars. Now comes Bethicalism. Dr. Piyush says, यार ये क्या अजीब सा टॉपिक लगा दिया आपने. अब मैंने इसको ब्रेक डाउन किया है. I hope now it is easy. Whether you take Jainism, Hinduism, Judaism, any ism, the core value is just ethics. Treat others as you want to be treated. Am I right? सारे रिलीजन में यही है कि यार दूसरे के साथ वही भाव रखो जो आप चाहते हैं. And to me, therefore, Bethicalism, be ethical in life, is a simple term. And what I should do always be more than what I want to do, what I should do. So it is a journey. Every day, morning starts with Bethicalism. It's a core to all isms. Start today. If you accept and love walking on it. You agree with it? I have done a little bit of corruption here because I used liver, because that is the area I work. I just have adulterated you with some ideas on liver. You can ignore it. It's not very ethical, but I just want you to love your liver. Why? Not because I work on liver. There was no god, goddesses 5,000 years before Christ. The only symbol which was placed in temples was this. This is from British Museum. It has a gallbladder and it has lobes of liver. Liver was worshipped 5,000 years before. So don't think that I'm trying to put ideas in your mind. And this is a tribute to UCMS teachers. They are amongst the best. But students should be better, because reflection is always better, bigger than the original. And your best teacher is your last mistake. And when I saw this, I was overwhelmed. Can you have an idea what this means? I'm sure UCMS people know it. There are 8 postage stamps in the name of Dr. A.S. Paintal. And it is one of them is by WHO, and there are many more. What a college you have! What a place you work! And what a luck for me that I am part of this A.S. Paintal Oration. With all of you, I would like to salute him. I would like to salute all the teachers and all the students. And thank you, Piyush, for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I like to tell one very important thing. Professor Sarin's son is a UCite. And fortunately, he is with us today. Chachot, please. So thank you, sir, for bringing him here and reliving his old memories. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed an aspirational oration and highlighting the importance of ethics in medical education. We definitely don't want to be dummy mummies, and we definitely are not the magician, not to reveal our tricks and knowledge. So I would now request Professor Piyush Gupta to present a memento and a shawl to our chief guest as a token of gratitude and for being such an eloquent orator. I would Thank you so much, sir. Now let us all get started, and I would welcome our dignitaries to come in front and please felicitate our faculty members who superannuated recently with the Lifetime Achievement Award for their mammoth contribution to this institute. Now I would welcome Dr. Mahendra Kumar first. So Dr. Mahendra Kumar graduated and post-graduated from SN Medical College, Agra. He joined this institute as senior resident in the Department of Anesthesiology and Critical Care in 1989. Then he continued as faculty and served this institute till his superannuation. He was involved in teaching and training programs of undergraduate, postgraduate and DNB students and supervised more than 50 theses. He delivered lectures at various academic forums and he was an examiner to various universities and has more than 60 publications to his credit. He worked as member and chairperson of various committees. He was a member of Committee of SOPs for ICU management and for medicine OPD and IPD for Delhi government hospitals. He was involved in maintenance and upgradation of medical gas pipeline system for more than 2 decades. I'm so sorry to interrupt. Okay. For 2 decades and dedicatedly tried to maintain oxygen supply during COVID-19 epidemic. Please welcome Dr. Mahendra Kumar. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would request Professor Rajneesh Awasthi to please come in front. He was former professor and head Department of Medicine, UCMS. Please give a round of applause. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would request Dr. S.B. Sharma to please come in front. Dr. S.B. Sharma was a former professor, director professor in the Department of Biochemistry, University College of Medical Sciences, Delhi, and presently she is working as professor in the Department of Biochemistry at ESIC Medical College and Hospital, Faridabad. She is very actively involved in research on diabetes and cardiovascular diseases. Her quest for developing new drugs from medicinal plants made her a unique researcher in this area, where she has the distinction of discovering new active molecules from different medicinal plants, for which she has been granted 1 US and 2 Indian patents. Her research findings have been published in national international journal of repute. Being an active researcher, she was honored as Fellow of Association of Clinical Biochemists of India. She has the distinction of supervising several PhD MD students. She has several medals and awards to her credit. Let us give a round of applause for Dr. S.B. Sharma.
I am too much honored to be here at UCMS and getting this award at this great day that is Teachers' Day. And I want to thank organizers, our principal and our chief guest who has given a very informative and interesting oration, and our MD, Professor Giri, for this, initiating this event on Teachers' Day. Thank you so much. Wish you all a very, my best wishes are with you, and happy Teachers' Day to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would request Dr. Vinod Kumar Arora to please come forward. Dr. Vinod Kumar Arora was a director, professor and former HOD Department of Pathology, UCMS and GTBH, joined UCMS as demonstrator in 1983 and superannuated on 28th February this year. In 1984, he joined MD Pathology at UCMS, being the first pathology postgraduate of the college. He was appointed as lecturer in 1989, a pioneer in the field of fine needle aspiration cytology under guidance and leadership of his mentor, Dr. Aarti Bhatia. He established the cytopathology services at GTB Hospital. He published a number of original papers in cytopathology and was selected for the post of professor and in charge of cytopathology at AIIMS New Delhi in 2005. After 2 years, he resigned from that post to work for his parent institute UCMS as professor of pathology. At UCMS, he worked for many projects funded by ICMR, DBT and Ayush, and co-supervised many PhD theses involving experimental pathology and oncopathology. He also supervised many MD theses. As a head of Department of Pathology, FMS, University of Delhi, he finalized CBME curriculum for MBBS. He has more than 150 publications in indexed international and national journals of repute. Please welcome Dr. Vinod Kumar Arora.
I wanted to do pathology as a whole, and there were certain reasons that I shifted back to UCMS after joining there. After 2 years doing cytopath, it was too much. Doing only cytopath, not doing histopath was not my cup of tea. That's why I shifted back.
Gain of UCM.
And I am a graduate and postgraduate of this institution, so I wanted to be here. It's the most comfortable place for me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Finally, I would like to introduce Dr. Vivek Agarwal. So please, can you come in front? Dr. Vivek Agarwal graduated from Maulana Azad Medical College and post-graduated in surgery from LLRM Medical College, Meerut. He served as faculty at various prestigious institutions, MGIMS, Sevagram, Wardha, Safdarjung Hospital, Delhi, Jipmer, Pondicherry, before finally settling in Department of Surgery at UCMS and GTB Hospital in 1994. He superannuated as Director Professor on 31st March this year. He was involved in teaching undergraduates, postgraduates, PhD, DNB students and guided more than 65 theses. He was invited speaker in various conferences, organizations and public awareness talks. During his career, he held posts of Medical Superintendent, Surgery and Allied Departments, Head Department of Surgery, University of Delhi and HOD of Burns Department and GTB Hospital besides others. He was examiner to various Indian universities, have more than 100 publications and 5 chapters in renowned books to his credit. He formulated SOPs for patient safety guidelines for Delhi government hospitals. Delhi government, professional bodies and NGOs have felicitated him for his dedicated services. Please give a round of applause for Dr. Vivek Agarwal.
Like to say something, sir?
I am really humbled by this grand gesture which Dr. Piyush has granted us. अब क्या मिसाल दूं मैं अपने UCMS की. This UCMS has nurtured me into what I am today. And the medical superintendent stands by my words, I suppose, what I'm saying. And truthfully speaking, very simple logic in life is be simple, be truthful, be hardworking, and you'll reach where you want to be.
थैंक यू सर. आई लाइक टू शेयर वन थिंग अबाउट डॉक्टर विवेक अग्रवाल. उनको पता है या नहीं है, स्टूडेंट यूज टू कम ही, सर आप उनकी तरह पढ़ाया करो. क्यों, मैंने क्या कमी की, क्या नहीं पढ़ाया? कि सर वो जितनी गाली देते हैं और इतना अच्छे से समझाते हैं और इतना मार मार के पढ़ाते हैं, कोई हमारे पीछे पढ़ के उतना नहीं पढ़ाता. एंड लेट मी टेल यू दैट व्हेन देयर वाज अ अनऑफिशियल पोल ऑन हु इज द बेस्ट टीचर इन यूसीएमएस, डॉक्टर विवेक अग्रवाल वाज द ऑब्वियस चॉइस ऑफ ऑल द. थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सो मच.
This is true about capitalism.
Thank you so much, everyone. So with this, we come to the end of distribution of the.
I have a photograph with all of you. Sir,
So when I was invited, sort of informed that this program is going to be held here, so there was no question of not making it, in spite of my slight indisposition, because it's a kind of a homecoming here. It's really a homecoming. You come back to your family, you come back to your department, which in spite of being a small department when I joined in 89, when Professor A.S Biliary was our head department here, but it was a total devoted kind of faculty, very small faculty. Everybody used to have lunch together, sit down, do whatever work was given. Best part was that the UCMS students at that time, people who joined, I mean this was a new batch. All I can say is that students are also different. I mean, what we had at that time, in those years and later part, batches which we had, we always recall them with the great kind of, sort of love and affinity for them, because they were a different group of students by their outlook. Later on, as the faculty grew, the things became a little more comfortable. But I am glad to say that on a personal note, whatever Professor Sarin has come up today, we have kept ourselves close to that. I mean, simply said, we have tried to maintain as much as possible, without even knowing, because the ethics component has come recently into the foreground. But in spite of that, the group as a whole, I can at least vouch from my department, this we have kept, we have tried to stick to the principles, sir, which I have said today. And the best part has been that receiving this award from Professor Sarin, we have actually looked up to few people, few people in this Delhi region who have become national and international figures, and we have always, we have grown up looking up to them and learning from them. The Professor Sarin has always been an example. So that's a tribute from my side. Thank you, sir.
I would now invite Dr. Rajeshwari to please grace the occasion with his song and a guitar performance.
Happy Teachers Day to all my colleagues and my teachers, and I'm really honored to have the opportunity to perform on the first Teachers Day celebration of UCMS. So there are two disclaimers. I am not a trained singer, and I do not know any song specific for Teachers Day. So I'll be singing a song which is close to my heart and never failed to motivate me whenever I am down. And it is by my favorite duo, R.D. Burman and Kishore Kumar. So hope you like this. La 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 la। जीवन के दिन छोटे सही हम भी बड़े दिल वाले, कल की हमें फुर्सत कहाँ सोचे जो हम मत वाले। जीवन के दिन छोटे सही हम भी बड़े दिल वाले, कल की हमें फुर्सत कहाँ सोचे जो हम मत वाले। ये जिंदगी दर्द भी है, ये जिंदगी है दवा भी, दिल तोड़ना ही न जाने, जाने ये दिल जोड़ना भी। इस जिंदगी का शुक्रिया सदके मैं ऊपर वाले, कल की हमें फुर्सत कहाँ सोचे जो हम मत वाले। जीने का रंगीन मौसम ये खूबसूरत जमाना, अपने यही 4 पल है, आगे है क्या किसने जाना। जीना जिसे आता है वो इनमें ही मौज मना ले, कल की हमें फुर्सत कहाँ सोचे जो हम मत वाले। जीवन के दिन छोटे सही हम भी बड़े दिल वाले, कल की हमें फुर्सत कहाँ सोचे जो हम मत वाले। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, sir, for taking us again into that evergreen era of music, and that definitely are the hands of some artisan. Those like me who have actually tried guitar know how difficult it is to play the chords. So, thank you so much, sir, again. I would now invite Professor Piyush Gupta to please recite a few couplets. Sir, please come in front.
Well, let me tell you, I am a poor second. Alternative, we requested Dr. Sanjay Chaturvedi, who is a born poet. वो लिखते भी हैं और सुनाते भी हैं, मैं तो सिर्फ दूसरों की सुनाता हूँ। तो and he only told me कि मैं नहीं आऊँगा, तुम रश्मि रथी का पाठ करो. So I'll be reciting a few couplets from Rashmi Rathi. You all know कि रामधारी सिंह दिनकर जी जो राष्ट्र कवि थे उनके द्वारा लिखी गई है, और रश्मि रथी नाम दिया गया कर्ण को, सूर्यवीर कर्ण को, क्योंकि वो रश्मि रथ पर सवार होकर उन्होंने युद्ध किया. तो ये जो प्रसंग है, ये दिस इज अबाउट द ग्रेट टीचर श्री कृष्णा. सो इट इज़ वेरी अप्रोप्रिएट ऑन द टीचर्स डे दैट वी आर लिसनिंग टू कि श्री कृष्ण ने कैसे पांडवों के साथ आगे ये संदेश उनको दिया और कैसे टीचिंग दी. सो दिस इज कृष्णाज वार्निंग टू दुर्योधन. वर्षों तक वन में घूम घूम बाधा विघ्नों को चूम चूम, सह धूप घाम पानी पत्थर पांडव आए कुछ और निकल. वनवास से वापस आए, सह धूप घाम पानी पत्थर पांडव आए कुछ और निखर, सौभाग्य न सब दिन सोता है, देखें आगे क्या होता है. तो एक प्रस्ताव आया, श्री कृष्ण गए हस्तिनापुर मैत्री की राह बताने को, मैत्री की राह बताने को, सबको सुमार्ग पर लाने को, दुर्योधन को समझाने को, भीषण विध्वंस बचाने को, भगवान हस्तिनापुर आए, पांडव का संदेशा लाए. क्या संदेशा लाए? दो न्याय, अगर न्याय देना है तो आधा तो दो, दो न्याय अगर तो आधा दो, पर इसमें भी यदि बाधा हो तो दे दो केवल 5 ग्राम, तो दे दो केवल 5 ग्राम, रखो अपनी धरती तमाम, हम वही खुशी से खाएंगे, परिजन पर अस न उठाएंगे. दुर्योधन वह भी दे न सका, दुर्योधन वह भी दे न सका, आशीष समाज की ले न सका, उल्टे हरि को बांधने चला, उल्टे हरि को बांधने चला, जो था असाध्य साधने चला, जब नाश मनुज पर छाता है, पहले विवेक मर जाता है। हरि ने भीषण हुंकार किया, फिर तक क्या था, फिर तो एक देव स्वरूप हुए। हरि ने भीषण हुंकार किया, अपना स्वरूप विस्तार किया, डगमग डगमग दिग्गज डोले, डगमग डगमग दिग्गज होले, भगवान कुपित होकर बोले, जंजीर बढ़ाकर साध मुझे, हाँ हाँ दुर्योधन बांध मुझे, यह देख तू किसको बांधेगा, यह देख गगन मुझ में लय है, ये देख गगन मुझ में लय है, ये देख पवन मुझ में लय है, मुझ में विलीन झंकार सकल, मुझ में लय है संसार अकल, अमृत तो फूलता है मुझ में, संघार झूलता है मुझ में, भूलोक अतल पाताल देख, सारे तीनों चीज देख, भूलोक अतल पाताल देख, गत और अनागत काल देख, यह देख जगत का आदि सृजन, यह देख महाभारत का रण, जो तू नहीं देख रहा है मैं देख रहा हूं, मृतकों से पटी हुई भू है, मृतकों से पटी हुई भू है, पहचान कहां इसमें तू है। फिर भी नहीं समझा, अंबर में कुंतल जाल देख, पद के नीचे पाताल देख, मुट्ठी में तीनों काल देख, मेरा स्वरूप विकराल देख, सब जन्म मुझी में पाते हैं, फिर लौट मुझी में आते हैं। बांधने मुझे तो आया है, एक शिक्षा दी, समझ में नहीं आया वो अलग बात है, बांधने मुझे तो आया है, जंजीर बड़ी क्या लाया है, यदि मुझे बांधना चाहे मन, यदि मुझे बांधना चाहे मन, पहले तो बांध अनंत गगन, सूने को साध न सकता है, वो मुझे बांध कर सकता है। हित वचन तूने नहीं माना, मैत्री का मूल्य न पहचाना, तो ले मैं भी अब जाता हूं, अंतिम संकल्प सुनाता हूं, याचना नहीं, बहुत हो गया, याचना नहीं अब रण होगा, जीवन जय या कि मरण होगा, टकराएंगे नक्षत्र निखर, बरसेगी बू पर वहिन प्रखर, फण देश फण शेष नाग का डोलेगा, फण शेष नाग का डोलेगा, विकराल काल मुंह खोलेगा, दुर्योधन रण ऐसा होगा, दुर्योधन रण ऐसा होगा, फिर कभी नहीं जैसा होगा, भाई पर भाई टूटेंगे, विष बाण बूंद से छूटेंगे, आखिर तू भूषाई होगा, हिंसा का परदाई होगा। थी सभासन सब लोग डरे, चुप थे या लोग बेहोश पड़े, केवल दो नर न अघाते थे, धृतराष्ट्र विदुर सुख पाते थे, कर जोड़ खड़े सब प्रमुदित, निर्भय दोनों पुकारते थे। जय जय। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, sir. And coming from you, this makes so much sense. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Amir Maruf Khan, Coordinator of Medical Education Unit of UCMS and GTBH Hospital, to please deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Teachers' Day is a day of gratitude. It is my privilege to give the vote of thanks on behalf of all faculty of UCMS and GTBH Hospital on this momentous occasion. I begin my vote of thanks with these two couplets with the permission of the dignitaries. हमारी दरसगाह में, दरसगाह इस एकेडमी, हमारी दरसगाह में जो ये उस्ताद होते हैं, हकीकत में यही कौम की बुनियाद होते हैं। बरसते हैं सावन की तरह प्यासी ज़मीनों पर, इन्हीं के फैज़ से उजड़े चमन आबाद होते हैं। First and foremost, thanks to Professor S.K. Bhasin, an eminent clinician, researcher, academician and administrator, for agreeing and for gracing the occasion with your presence and delivering the Professor A.S Paintal Oration 2022. We are highly grateful to you, sir, that despite your hectic schedule, you shared your valuable time with us. Thank you, sir. A big thanks to the Lifetime Achievement Awardees, Professor Vivek Agarwal, Professor Rajneesh Avasthi, Professor S.B. Sharma, Professor Vinod Arora and Professor Mahendra for your contribution to this our institute and for gracing today's event with your presence. Thank you all. Our principal, Professor Piyush Gupta, is the source of inspiration behind this event. It's for the first time we are celebrating Teachers' Day, and that too with two laudable initiatives, one Professor A.S Paintal Oration and second Lifetime Achievement Awards. Both these praiseworthy initiatives are his ideas. Not only did you conceptualize the program, sir, your support in organizing the event with an eye for detail is commendable. Thank you, sir. Thanks, Professor Subhash Giri, sir, Medical Director, GTB Hospital, for your support and for sparing time from your overwhelming schedule for this event. We are grateful to you, sir. We thank all the head of the departments and all the faculty members for your support and for sparing time and for contribution to the medical education in this college and also beyond. Thanks to the administrative staff led by Mr. Rangabashiam, the Joint Registrar of UCMS, for his support and key inputs in the meticulous planning and execution of today's event. Mr. Rajesh, the Deputy Registrar, and the two Assistant Registrars, Mr. Jitendra and Mr. Arora. Thanks to you for working round the clock for the past few days to make this event a success. The support and inputs of Professor Neelam Vani, faculty in charge lecture theatres, in managing the venue of this event, and the support from her whole department is commendable. Also thanks to Professor Sonal Sharma ma'am, coordinator second Prof, and Professor N.P. Singh sir for your support in making this event possible. Professor Satyendra Singh, our social media champion, has done a commendable job of making this event well known far and wide through various social media platforms. Thank you, Dr. Satyendra. Thanks, Professor Rajarshi, for adding a musical touch to today's program. Highly grateful to you. Thanks, Dr. Nadeem, Assistant Professor Microbiology, for your support. Thanks, Mr. Alek, Mr. Vivek, Mr. Anil, Mr. Arvind, for your support for LT, related audio, video, and especially the recording of this event. Thanks, Mr. H.P. Singh, for covering the event with your photography. How can I forget to thank Dr. Vishaka, Assistant Professor, Physiology, the Master of Ceremony, and her team members, Senior Residents, Dr. Sushma, Dr. Sanjoli, and Dr. Ghanshyam, for all your wonderful support for today's event. If I have forgotten to mention anyone's name, please forgive me for my unintentional error. Thank you, everyone. I conclude my vote of thanks. Over to you, Dr. Vishaka.
Thank you so much, sir. For me, that was too much of a credit, but we have to give credit to everyone. That is what I learned today. So with this, before we officially close this ceremony, let us all rise for national anthem.